Hello everyone, welcome back to another election prediction video. This time we have Vice President Kamala Harris up against Vivek Ramaswamy, who in some polls is third place right behind DeSantis. But let's get into this video. I think Vivek Ramaswamy would be an extremely weak candidate. I really think he would underperform most Republican nominees quite drastically. I think he would underperform them. I'm going to go down the list of the policies that he supports that would just alienate him with independent voters. He wants to ban the Board of Education. He wants a 6-week national abortion ban. He also wants to raise the voting age to 25, which would just cause youth turnout to skyrocket in most states. It really would. So, again, that's just a recipe for disaster for Ramaswamy's campaign if he becomes the Republican nominee somehow, which is quite unlikely. But let's get right into this video. So the first two states. Colorado would just be safe Democratic, same with New Mexico and Virginia. Even with Harris being 3 points more unpopular than Joe Biden in most polls, she would still win these states easily over 10%, which is a safe margin. In Maine at large, it would probably also be a safe margin even with Harris. But Maine second would probably still go lean Republican because, again, Harris doesn't, I don't think she would do as well in the rural areas like Biden would. New Hampshire, however, she would still win by a likely Democratic margin. Minnesota, she would also win by a likely Democratic margin. Michigan, even though Harris is quite unpopular in the Rust Belt, I still think she takes Michigan by a likely margin against Vivek Ramaswamy. Even in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, I'm putting these both as lean blue states for now. In his home state of Ohio, he would still carry it against Harris, but he would only win by 4. Same with Iowa, he'd only win by state by 4 as well. In Nebraska second, I think Harris would win this district probably by a 5-point margin or so, maybe even 6 against Vivek Ramaswamy, because again, I don't think he could do well in such a moderate district here. Harris would probably be perceived as more moderate than Vivek Ramaswamy, considering all his extreme positions that would alienate a lot of independent voters. But in the state of Florida, again, just the Republicans' registration advantage, they would still carry Florida against Harris. Alaska would get a bit more competitive, but it would still be a likely red state because of Harris's weakness in rural areas. In Arizona and Nevada, I think Harris wins both these states quite comfortably, just due to independent voters breaking her way. In these last few states, Texas, it's going to be pretty close here, but I think Vivek would narrowly edge out Harris here by about 1.5% in the state of Texas. Just because, again, she's going to be attacked for being Biden's vice president. Plus, Biden's not super popular, and she's a bit more unpopular than Joe Biden is. But again, Vivek Ramaswamy is quite extreme, which would prevent it from going to a likely Republican state. So for now, I'm going to put it as a lean Republican state. I think he only wins it by about 2% or so. In the state of Georgia, again, with the Atlanta suburbs here, that would definitely buoy Harris up to a victory here. Plus, you just win over the independent voters due to how just extreme Vivek is on most policies, which would definitely tank him in most states, honestly. Even in North Carolina, I really think Harris would probably win the state quite comfortably as well, just because of her doing better with independent voters due to how out of touch Vivek Ramaswamy is with his policies, which would just tank him in most of these swing states. It would even make Texas, Florida, Ohio, and Iowa would go from likely Republican states with most Republican nominees to lean Republican, just because of how weak of a candidate he is. But overall, I think Harris probably wins a popular vote by about 4% against Vivek Ramaswamy, quite similar to Biden's margin in 2020. But again, she wouldn't do as well as Biden in some safe blue states, but she would definitely do pretty decent with independent voters in most of these states because of Vivek's unpopular policies. I'll see you guys in the next video.